most of my conversations start with the phrase, how are you? But
Okay.
after listening to your music, which I've done a lot, I feel like that question has more weight with you. So how are you really?
How am I really? Do you really want me to answer honestly? I'm good. I thought I just had headphones, but I don't. I'm good. And also extremely overwhelmed and very tired navigating the music industry. It feels challenging at the moment.
In what way? What can you tell me about that?
I think it's just it's not built in favor of the artist, actually. And I think unless you have a major label behind you or some strange turn of events where things catch on, or, you have the safety of family money, then it's a really difficult industry to be in, regardless of whether you have support or infrastructure or talent or not. So I feel very grateful for the people on my team who are like the infrastructure around it, but I also just feel like it's a very challenging industry to navigate.
It's only a year and a half, not even, since your first album came out.
Yeah.
And then you've had this new album that just came out this month, Hysteria.
Mm-hmm.
Has things changed a lot in that short amount of time?
Yeah, lots changed. I moved countries and I recorded this next album and put the album out and built a whole new community of musicians and friends and moved within the States 4 times, and lots has changed and happened in that time. So,
but like the reaction to this album has been overwhelmingly positive from what I've seen. So you must be feeling good about that, at least.
Yeah, no, I think that's the bright light through everything, is when, you release music that resonates in some way and there's positive feedback and there's conversation about it and there's engagement, and that is really, always the reason why I think any musician probably keeps doing what they're doing. I don't think any of the artistic professions are relatively easy to be in. You have to continuously work at things and be very patient for, the path to become clear. So I just feel like happy and nourished by the fact that this album is being received the way it is so far. That feels really good, because there's some sort of like payoff then. You're not just making music for yourself anymore. You're making music that's helping or touching someone else in a way.
When you're writing these songs, because they are very personal, do you think about how the listeners going to interpret them in their own way?
I never do, actually. I think that's why I always get so anxious for a period of time right before the album comes out, because I'm like, oh shit, I didn't think about that. I didn't really think about how this could be interpreted or how this might be felt by someone that's not me. Maybe on a subconscious level, or my higher self is like thinking about it in some way, but never really I don't really ever go into writing a song thinking, well, I'm going to write this specifically for it to be received in this particular way.
Do you listen to the album differently when it's been released because of that? Like, to try and listen to it through listeners' ears, I guess?
Yeah, I have been lately, actually, because I've been like, oh, yeah, I think it's hard to do that too, though. I think I'm just too close to it, I'm too close to it and I've been inside of it for too long, and I don't think my judgment is totally clear.
Like I say, the 2 albums came out not too far apart, but there's definitely a shift in sound on the new album.
Yeah.
Did that happen naturally, or it was a deliberate choice?
I think it was quite deliberate, actually. That was quite deliberate. I really wanted to kind of move into a new sound space and, push the sound to be a lot bigger. I wanted to create kind of like really rich, big worlds of feeling instead of more like gentle, ambient, circular worlds, ones that were in echo. I felt they were much more kind of like you had to step towards them, whereas this, you could probably you could stay standing still and it would move in to meet you where you are. Probably some of them you actually have to take a step back, because there's more of an intensity in the sound and the energy behind them. But in terms of the production, it was definitely, I wanted to go, make something bigger.
Was that a discussion that you had with Aaron Dessner from the National?
It was, I don't really totally remember all the details of our first conversations, although I think going to him implied that that's what that was going to be. So maybe I didn't need to say anything,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you talk about songs being a bit more almost lean back kind of songs. And it starts with this song Blue, which feels very driving and like this. I don't think there's a chorus in it.
No, there's not.
And you've got the layered vocals and all that kind of stuff. Did you know when you wrote that song that would be the opening song? Because I feel that's a brave choice for an opening song on an album.
It is bold. And Aaron was like, "Are you sure you want this to be the opening song?" And I was like, "Yes, it has to be. I think it has to be." No, I had no idea that would be the opening song. Although that song was kind of like one of the first, like that song and Hysteria were like two of the first songs that I had written. So they were really anchor points for the album. Like definitely sonically and emotionally. And then obviously the title of Hysteria, like that song was done before most of the others. So I had always kind of had a feeling that the album was going to revolve around that kind of theme and that would be the title. I just felt like that song needed to start it once we had all the songs done, because it really did feel like just this, like the kind of like the Odyssey or the biopic, like this like introduction to this, this like long journey. Like even like for looking at like the archetypes or like tarot cards, like it starts, there's like, the hero's journey and it has this arc and it always starts at this kind of beginning point, which is oftentimes like the point of like when something is catalyzed into change. So I felt like it needed to be kind of like at the beginning there. And then, yeah.
I'm guessing you paid a lot of attention to the sequencing of the album.
Yeah, I really spent a lot of time trying to figure that out.
So when someone gets to the end of the album, how do you want them to feel at the end of the album?
I think almost like they've kind of arrived back in a state of like slumber or dreamscape. Like they've gone on this journey and then they've returned back to their bed in a place of safety where there's, it's like there's space then to like go to sleep and process like everything that you've just kind of been through in some kind of deeper subconscious way, I think.
You want it to be therapeutic to the listener?
Yeah, I think cathartic, maybe. I don't know if this one is maybe as therapeutic as the last record. Maybe it is in some ways. There's a lot more edge and a lot more rage inside of it. And I think that's a feeling and a sensation in the body that a lot of people are really uncomfortable with. So yeah, I don't know if it's therapeutic, maybe more. Yeah, I mean, maybe they're two of the same worlds, those words, but yeah, hopefully therapeutic.
And talk to me about God Is a Woman's Name. That song in particular, where did that start?
I think it was just, I was Well, I remember the moment that song kind of conceived. I was standing in the falling snow in the middle of winter in Minneapolis, and I had kind of like an out-of-body experience where it felt like time just like collided with itself and everything got really, really still, like everything went into slow motion. And I remember just feeling really kind of like disoriented and like out of body. And I just was like in deep conflict in that moment with someone that I was in relationship with. And I think I just started thinking about all the women that had kind of led both of us to this point in being together. Like our grandmothers and then their grandmothers, and like archetypes and women in history through time who were like kind of holding us through this like growth and kind of like a little bit abstract and meta, the idea of it all, but I think that's where it came from. And I was thinking about the love that I had for all of them and then the love that I had for this woman that I was with. And I was like, wow, like God is a woman's name. God must be a woman's name in some way, because all of these women are embodying kind of like, you know, this godlike energy to just like get through time and space for us to be here right now. So
do you find more of the people that are listening to this record are women?
I have no idea. A lot of men seem to be listening to it and loving it too. So
yeah.
I'm glad. One person wrote an Instagram comment on a post saying that's blasphemous. God is not a woman's name. And I just went, well, you've missed what I'm saying.
Yeah. Sometimes people take things at the smallest amount of literacy that they can get. I'm a little bit sad because you're not coming to Montreal and you're going to be in Birmingham 3 days after I'm in Birmingham, but I'm coming back to Canada. So,
oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, look, I will get up there. Like, I'm planning to do some shows, so it'll definitely be a little like East Coast run up and then West Coast. So, it's not too far from where I live. Maybe I can organize to do a one-off show up there.
Okay. Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed for that. We'll help spread the word for sure. In the meantime, I wish you all the best. I hope more and more people listen to this album because I genuinely love it to pieces. I've listened to it over and over again.
Thank you so much.
I know it's the kind of record that I will just come back to again and again. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing what you do next.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hysteria in the weightless crowd.